boys and girls, welcome to the Louse-infested Offal. I am very attractive, and with me as always is the man who graduated summa cum laude from Notre Dame, Magas.
I like that one. It's solid. I actually grew up very close to a Notre Dame high school, so there you go.
Notre Dame, because naked.
I know,
Sex joke.
I know.
Sex joke,
I know, but it just has even more levels on it.
Get on my level.
Not really sure why Javier Vega ditched out of a purple run there. That was a bit weird, but he is in the pits. Wonder if he's any relation to Vic Vega. What do you think?
What if he's related to Javier Perez Torres?
Well, that'd be a weird conclusion to reach from first name. That would be like saying you're related to Byron Scott.
Am I not? We're both black.
I mean, that doesn't really prove that you are. Oh, hey, it's Rene Ermer who's in the new livery card. Interesting. I like that car. I do like that livery.
Correct.
I liked his other one, though, so not sure why he changed it. Oh, God, that's a lot of smoke off the tires. Rene down in 8th place here. Once again, this is the ESR, TUGAS, ESR, EA multi-class Super Series. And Alfonso Alexandre on the pole position at the moment for the GT2 class. And in the GT4 class, it is Pedro Magas who is leading the way.
Pedro Magalhães.
Indeed. There is the grid, at least as of this time. Alfonso Alexandre, Javier Vega, Andrew D, James Butler, Max Simmons, your top 5 in the GT2 category. And in the GT4 category, it is Pedro Magalhães, Tobias TH, David Marcadet, Arno Adracor, and Ariel Zittoni. The usual dudes at the front. The Alien crew. We've also got a number of good drivers throughout the field there. Beyond those 10 drivers I just listed, but we have 11 GT2s and looks like 12 GT4s. Ricardo Costa bringing up the back.
How much does it cost you?
A lot. I was supposed to be in this race, but instead I was racing in the 6 hours of Bathurst.
Well, I would recommend just doing both. And not being such
I was crippled for like the rest of the day after 6 hours of Bathurst, my friend. That was not additional racing was not an option.
I don't know why anybody would be physically impaired just racing. I mean, walking around's easy enough for me.
Yeah, it is totally.
Yeah, it worked out well.
It worked out well. There was no exploding of tendons or anything.
Nothing happened.
Nothing. Absolutely none.
So short story long, your boy was leaving work on the 23rd of December, went to cross the street, slipped, something went, and then I hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the quad tendon in my left leg exploded, and so I'm sitting at the computer all jacked up on things, and with my leg raised up on an impromptu footstool. And Mike's having sympathy pains because he decided that he was just going to, stick an entire giraffe in his butthole. Or what happened there, Mike?
I don't. I still to this day don't even know what happened.
Well, no, I mean today. You were saying.
Well, today I made the horrible mistake of having Popeye's Louisiana-style chicken, and that was a mistake. That was such a mistake.
It sounds like the best mistake you can make 3 or 4 times before you actually learn.
No, never again. Never again. This was a Rocco undergrads moment. Never again.
Only 2 or 3 more times again.
Indeed. I mean, although if this is the Rocco's one, you're right, actually, because he never learned. He had the I will never drink again 6 times over the running of one season of that show. And also developed a fictional friend named Bobby Whiskey, who is a giant bottle of whiskey that walked around and told him to drink. So, I will have a giant chicken, deep fried chicken wing or something following me around going, just eat it. Just eat it. Crispy wing? I don't know. Crispy wing sounds good.
Who's got a crispy wing?
I think that works. I think that works just fine. We're here at Lausitzring, the Super Speedway. Interesting track. Not one of my favorites, but it keeps getting voted onto the calendar. So actually, you know what? I'm actually slightly happy I missed this race for the 6 hours of Bathurst. If I had missed Zoo High or something, I would have been inconsolable, because I do really like that track, which is where we were last 2 weeks ago.
You zoo high, and I'll zoo low,
Max
zoo low.
Simmons in the anime car, of course.
Weeb.
Oh, we got a full. I got good news for you though, Byron. We got a full 3-car team of Gulf liveried Porsches for the upcoming Wednesday series here at Barcelona.
Daddy likes.
Mm-hmm. The way to favorable commentary is to drive the Gulf Porsche. Well, Gulf anything.
Golf to the front.
I was going to run the Golf Audi, but it didn't really line up all that well with my teammate's livery, who's gone very American, it must be said. Like, it's a full American flag livery. I have gone with the... I don't even know how to describe it. It's a lot of red and yellow. We'll just put it that way.
Red and yellow, just like your favorite team, the Hammelburg Bay Packers.
Is there even a red and yellow team?
Oh, yeah, it's Washington.
Oh, yeah.
The Washington Rape Club.
Washington football team, which is...
They say they're going to announce their new logo and shit next month.
Yeah, but you know what's winning the vote on that is actually just doing Washington football team again, because it's WTF.
Who was it? Pat McAfee had a kind of a good one. Somebody in his circle there proposed that they should just be the Washington Football Club.
Mm-hmm.
So then they could be, or the DC Football Club, so they could be DCFC.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with Washington Football Club.
Yeah,
right?
They basically like, don't call it Washington ever again, because it just confuses people.
That's true. Having Washington State and then Washington State. I mean, America's confusing like that as well. I mean, The Simpsons, for example. What Springfield are you in? There's like 8 options. Like it's a bit insane.
Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Washington, oddly enough, the filthiest city ever.
David Marcaday losing the back end there a little bit. I saw him lose the back end early in qualifying when I was just like trying to find our spot, basically. And it seems like he's got a very twitchy setup there on that Mercedes. So it'll be interesting to see how that pays out, because it's definitely fast. Memory serves, he's starting from P3 in the GT4 category. But
the snack thing?
No, not the snack thing. Not the essential meats, proteins, and cheeses.
As advertised by the legend himself, Donald the C. Roan.
Mm-hmm. Donald C. Roan is a big believer in the P3s. Grid is forming up here for Lausitz. I believe this is just a 60-minute race with a single pit stop, but I could be mistaken. And we will find out pretty shortly here in the 4th round of the Super Series.
How super is it?
It's very super. So the racing's been high quality. There's been low penalties. Honestly, it's been nothing but a pleasure. And we will be riding on board with James Boutelier to open up the race here from P4 on the grid. And we are off here. Oh, it's a 90-minute race. Okay, so we got 90 minutes. And James Butler trying to move up in the world from his P4 starting place. Bad start from the pole sitter, Alfonso Alexandre. He is being swallowed up into turn 1. And turn 1 here is very tricky. I cannot emphasize enough how tricky it is. And Andrew D has taken the lead here in the Golf Porsche, baby.
Golf to the front.
It is indeed golf to the front. You can see the gap opening up between the two classes. 2 cars being left in the dust. That is John Barker and Jeremy Reeder, who are quite a ways back. Bertrand Barrier in the field, dicing with Max Simmons over 5th place and trying to hold off Rene Ermer and Jaime or Jamie Fordham. Still haven't gotten confirmation on which it is. So either he and he does watch. He's commented on our videos. So either he doesn't mind the fact that I pronounce it both ways, or I don't know. That's honest. Oh, Alfonso Alexandre.
A double. You are, please make your way to the white courtesy phone.
A double is going to drop down from 2nd place all the way to the back of GT2 with that. As he has a moment there. Comes on just ahead of the leader there of the GT4 pack, Tobias TH, who has at some point overtaken Pedro Magalhaes. My apologies for not noting that.
Pedro the Pedro.
James Butler going side by side with Jamie Fordham, and Fordham overshoots badly there. Or that might not be Fordham. That might be no, that's not Fordham. That's Javier Vega. Oh, Butler spins. Or got spun. I didn't see what happened there.
All I know is if you gotta ask, you can't afford them.
Bad luck for James Butler. And there he is rejoining well at the back of the pack. And we'll see him cut through the GT4 field, mostly like a knife through butter.
Like a hot spoon through whipped cream.
Or a Louisiana chicken through my colon.
Indeed.
I should probably... should I actually explain the whole butt thing, or just leave it to a mystery to our fine audience here?
Well, I thought you already said you ate Popeye's chicken and you
well, that explains today, not the overall problem.
Oh, well, Mike's got what they call wasting butthole disease. His butthole is slowly disappearing until it's nothing but just hip bones. And...
It's just hip bones? Oh, John Barker.
Yeah, go ahead, explain.
It's a bad day for the JBs. Basically, right before Christmas, I had an incident on the toilet where things got really backed up, and I wound up at the hospital getting an emergency colonic. Those of you who know what that is, I appreciate your thanks for the mental image, and yeah, so things have been a little bit raw in the digestional tract, and it was a bad idea to eat Popeye's chicken. Ooh, Jamie Fordham. We've seen a couple of spins at that turn today already. Looks like the track is very slippery out there.
Basically, Mio and I have been trying to outcompete each other injury-wise, and now I'm ahead.
You are ahead on the injury-wise, but I mean, I had my dad for Christmas, which is a special kind of negative multiplier. As Rene Ermer tries to go down the inside of Mauricio Delgado to no success because the higher ground there allows more speed to be carried through turn one. So we do got 3D speed coming up this week, by the way. Anyone who's not signed up, there are still spots available. We'll be opening up at Barcelona. That'll be in the ACC with GT3 cars. And I'll also be putting out a feedback form for if anybody wants to participate in the Sunday ACC series, which has been thrust into my lap. And
can we get the ACC GT3 on a DVD and send it out?
Max Simmons falling back there as he gets overtaken by Alfonso Alexandre. Not sure what's up with Simmons in his anime card, but he has fallen back in the Sakura Gear sponsored Audi.
The Sakuraba Gear?
Not quite that cool. Sakuraba's been talking about doing some New Japan work, so looking forward to that. If it comes to be. Andrew D at the front, followed by Javier Vega and Bertrand Barrier, and in GT4 action it is still Tobias TH, Pedro Magalhaes, and Daniel Marcadet. Josiah Jerome on the tail, Bertrand Barrier, who is occupying that last, or pardon me, this is Magalhaes battling with Tobias TH. My apologies.
My goodness, unprofessional.
It was. Oh Lord! Oh wait, that's just James Butler being like, "Thank you, come through. I'm a GT2. You can't race me." And on a straightaway, you definitely can't. Those GT2s will fly past you as Pedro Magalhaes is, at least for now, nosed his way ahead of Tobias TH. But Tobias has got the inside line here. I'd like to get a good camera view of this, and we are going to. Daniel Marcadet has already got him as well as Arno Atracor, as Diogo Braganca ends up in the wall. Wonder if that's any relation to the Diogo from The Expanse.
Indeed. Which we're behind on, I just realized.
We are, but I don't mind that. We could do a bunch in a row when you're feeling up to a marathon.
Sorry for the inconvenience that I have caused.
It's fine. It's fine. you, me, and Javier have got some expanding to do, some expanding of the pants.
Indeed. Well, we finished episode 2, yeah?
Yes, we did.
All right.
We're on episode 3. Max Simmons has fallen to 11th place. What is up, Max? Just sliding back constantly here. I know the you can get trapped in what they call a draft train around Lausitz because of the construction of the circuit, particularly the closing part of the lap and the opening part of the lap. That does facilitate a lot of overtaking that doesn't necessarily happen, and it's kind of the sort of thing where like 1 car and then 2 car and then 3 car will go past you, and it's a bit of there's not much you can do. Oh Lord! Somebody backed onto the track and killed somebody. That's got to be a penalty.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me, but I enjoyed the smoke show.
I don't usually like to say penalties without being able to further investigate with our boy Silento Jack on the stewarding, but there's not really any way around that. That was full on someone flying back onto the track in reverse, and it didn't look like they were stopping the car. And that's going to be a penalty.
Can I just say that Josiah Jerome?
Yes.
Just look at
his monster livery car. Currently running in 4th place behind Bertrand Barrier. There's Luciano Ichazo. Didn't qualify well, but Luciano Ichazo's season has been like highlighted by great drives through the field. And we're seeing a little bit of one again. Currently battling with Rene Irmer for 5th place. Irmer's having a good day. He's had a rough season, so good to see him a little bit closer to the front. Alfonso Alexandre, I think, has had another spin because he is at the back of the pack. Ahead of just Diogo Braganca. We saw Braganca in the wall, so his car is most likely in quite bad shape.
Can I just say that Josiah Jerome?
Yes.
And golf to the front.
Golf has been at the front since the very beginning, my friend. That's how it works. Josiah Jerome running in 4th place, just nipping at the heels of Bertrand Barrier. Barrier's had a very inconsistent season, and it's good to see him running up at the front, and hopefully he'll stay there because he could use that kind of result. Luciano Chazo has gotten 5th place off of Rene Irmer and has moved into the top 5 there. Irmer on the tail along with a guy who we're used to seeing a lot higher at the front there, and Andreasen. I'm apologizing because I don't remember what the H stands for. I'm assuming it's Henrik, but I might be wrong.
It's Humperdinck.
Or Hans. But we're used to seeing him very much at the front, and he's back in 7th place, so not having a spectacular day in the white and black Porsche. Keep in mind, there are only 12 GT2s in the field. So when I say 7th, I mean that is the lower half of the field. Looks like we might have lost Braganca as well as Alexandre as they are falling down a lap. Jamie Fordham also shuffling backwards as well. Not a good day if you're Portuguese, apparently. They're all falling back. Well, the only one that isn't in the back 3 is Ricardo Costa, who's in 21st place. So, considering the prevalence of Portuguese drivers from the TUGAS community, that's not great. As David Marcaday defends against Arnaud Adracor and retains 2nd place.
Speaking of backfield,
Battle of the Frenchman.
How about them Miami Dolphins?
Oh, them Dolphins.
For no other reason than fuck the Patriots.
I mean, I'm always rooting for anyone to defeat the Patriots in any way, shape, or form. To be completely honest, it's not even hate for the Patriots. It's just it's underdog syndrome.
That's fair.
As we watch Steve Davidson, and he is battling there with that is Magic Kazchuk in the red BMW. Saw a lot of him last race. Good race in Magic. And he is battling with Steve Davidson as well as with Ariel Zatoni, who's had a bit of a rough start and has dropped back to 7th place. Pick up Josiah Jerome once again. And I'm getting a message from Tom Waz confirming his entry into the 3D speed grid. So that's nice. Good to see. Good to have Tom Waz back in the field. And he's brought a new guy with him. Some guy named Connor. Better not be McGregor. Better not. Here's Ariel Zatoni. I'd say he's a danger man right now. Looks like Davidson's gotten past Kaschuk, and Zatoni would like to follow him through. We'll see if he can. Doesn't look like there's any real damage on that Lotus. Just looks like he's had a bad start to the race as opposed to anything particularly problematic. Seeing a lot of Josiah Jerome. That's good. He's had a rough season. He's had a rough run of results lately, just in ESR period, so it's good to see him up there and competing for a podium.
Can I just say, Josiah Jerome?
Can. There's no law against him. It's a free country.
Well, I mean, can be.
It's a fairly free country.
Well, to put things in perspective, I mean, I did explode my fucking quad tendon, and got to take an ambulance ride, go to the emergency room, hang out for a while, consult with not one but 3 doctors. They put a bunch of gear on me, and they got me into surgery the day after next, and got to charge the grand total of like $20 for crutches.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. I think that's a pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal. Vic Vega getting lapped there by Javier Vega as well as Andrew D. Anyone impressing you in today's race here, Byron, who's kind of caught your eye as a star of today's race?
That would be Andrew D, because he has the best livery.
Oh. I mean, that goes without saying.
Now we know the answer. The D stands for Gulf Oil.
Yeah. It's actually the heir to the whole Gulf fortune.
In that case, your boy could use a little support for all the support that I...
It is Henrik. Okay, so I did. My first guess was correct.
Henrique
Andreasen of TUGAS, running in 7th place. He's been very solid so far, and looks like Fordham is still running because he's only down 1 lap. But it looks like Alexandre and Berganca have parked it for the day.
Could I just say Josiah Jerome?
You can.
Honestly, I started doing this as a joke, and now I just have to keep doing it because I feel as though that the game is the replay is showing him in a large amount.
Yeah, he's been one of the more featured drivers here, probably because he's been kind of in a race-long battle with this man Bertrand Barrier over 3rd place, and they just I mean, there hasn't been a ton of excitement, but there's a lot of tension, a lot of possibility between these two. And the camera does seem to like to go back to him quite a bit. There are a couple of drivers we haven't seen on camera at all. There's Ricardo Costa recovering from a spin. I was going to say Ricardo Costa hasn't been on camera, and then, you know, commentators jinx on the matter. Here he is rejoining in his black and orange Lotus, although he's going very slowly, so it looks like there is something possibly terminally wrong with that car. This Josiah Jerome gets a little bit of... You got to watch the grass here around RaceRoom because they do... Oh, Lord, that car does not appear to have any drive, really. I don't know what's up with that, if he's blown the engine somehow. I was going to say, it's very important to keep a clean line in RaceRoom because the grass does tend to really impact the car model. And Ricardo is still... What is up here, Ricardo Costa? Limping around to... That's not the pit lane, I don't think. That's a... It's a service road. I don't know what's going on here.
I believe that's the new avant-garde camera angle.
Confirmation that Jamie Fordham is still running. There, well, I have no idea what's going on here with Ricardo Costa. This is very strange. I mean, you definitely... Oh, Ariel Zatoni off. Lotus is off everywhere. You do definitely want to finish this race because, I mean, there's only, as stated, there's only 13 GT4s in the field. So, I mean, there's big points even for last place. And one of those GT4s, Diogo Braganca, is actually already out of the race. So, your worst case is 12th place, and that would be pretty pretty championship relevant.
Diogo Branca, it is Braganca.
And that is Costa still off the track. What is up? Ricardo, my friend, you are going to have to comment on this video because inquiring minds, mostly me at the moment, really want to know what the hell's up with your car at this point. Like, this is weird. There he is again. Still limping, still trying, but something is up with the car. As we pick up Josiah Jerome again.
Can I just say Josiah Jerome? How many more times are going to show up for this race?
Ricardo Costa in the wall again. It's him and Ricardo Costa right now. It's the Josiah and Ricardo show.
The Ricardo show? I would tune into that.
Also, Ariel Zatoni appears to have come to a stop somewhere on track, judging by the fact that he is falling back quite rapidly. Or he might be driving around with a busted front end, trying to drag it back to the pit lane. Mauricio Delgado.
Sí. Rápido Mauricio.
As he is battling with Max Simmons. If you talk to these two, you'd assume you're watching a battle between two young men, but Mauricio is actually fairly old, but just has the enthusiasm of youth.
He has the enthusiasm of two youths.
He does. Very enthusiastic, very team-spirited driver.
Word on the street is that Mauricio consumes 3 children a week just to keep his spirits up.
Rene Ermer, by the way, has fallen back to 7th place. To talk on that a little bit. Henrik Andreasen has overtaken him and pulled away. So it doesn't look like that Ermer has quite the overall pace to keep with the leaders. Just had a good qualifying effort and definitely has good high-end speed, but not putting together the consistent laps right this second. Top 10 in the GT2, and the only cars that are running without really incident. Andrew D, Javier Vega, Bertrand Barrier, Josiah Jerome, Luciano Chazo, Henrik Andreasen, Rene Ermer, Max Simmons, Mauricio Delgado, and James Butler. And the GT4 battle, which has gotten very little actual screen time. Pedro Magalhaes leads the way from Daniel Marquede, Arno Adracor, Tobias TH, Magic Kashchuk, Steve Davidson, Martin Emmons, John Barker, Jeremy Reeder, and Vic Vega.
Remember, a Marquede keeps the Josiah Jerome at bay.
It does. There's some lap traffic being dealt with here by the leaders. It is a red and white Lotus. Could be Jeremy Reeder, maybe? Not overly certain. That livery usually belongs to Dan Fight, but he's not here today.
Looks like he just couldn't bring the fight.
Or Dave Fight, pardon me.
Julio Fight.
Anytime it's a D with ESR, it's either a Dan or a Dave. That's the rule.
Give him the D.
I do believe that is Reeder, because they're coming up to John Barker next, and he is the next car up from Reeder, so that would make sense. John Barker in his typical yellow and black BMW. I have some decent news for you. James Butler, you recall that we spent a lot of last Super Series insulting his car. Has confirmed that he did not like the car. He just liked the colors. It was all about the colors. He didn't actually like the pattern or the actual livery.
All right.
So he would like that. He would like that on the record. There's the golf leader, Andrew D. Leading the way from Javier Vega.
You're about to be destroyed.
And Josiah Jerome thinks he's got a run here on Bertrand Barria. I don't know. And yeah, he's going to scuttle way to the outside there in front of Martin Emmons. Oh, somebody's off. I think that was Vega. And can confirm it is Javier Vega who slides down to 4th place after a wrong turn at Albuquerque. And Josiah Jerome gets past Andrew D. So D was involved in it as well. Barria is now in the lead. We did not see it, but there had to have been contact between Javier Vega and Andrew D, the top 2 men in the race, and now they are 3rd and 4th, and it's Bertrand Barria versus Josiah Jerome for the lead, with a Mercedes currently in the shot there. Could be Steve Davidson.
I would like to say that golf has been denied, and now there is a Barrier to success.
Ah, I like it. These are the witty repartee that you can expect. The ESR commentary crew, or at least our commentary combination.
Correct.
Mauricio Delgado. Oh, pit window has opened. Bit of an odd timing for it, if I'm being completely honest.
Oh my goodness, Josiah Jerome.
Indeed, now in 2nd place is possibly Jeremy Reeder getting lapped again. Could be another Lotus, I suppose.
Riddle me this.
Josiah is all over that butthole.
Who's afraid of the big bad Jack?
Magic Cash Chuck getting put down a lap there in the red and yellow, or red and white, pardon me, BMW. Oh, I said yellow there. It's very silly. Josiah Jerome still on the tail, along with a flashing headlight from Javier Vega, so he is impatient about something. I wonder if maybe he views the contact between him and Andrew D as having been D's fault, perhaps. That will be a matter for the stewards to decide if it is brought before them. And by stewards, I mean steward, because it's actually only one guy. It's just, you can appeal to the stewarding panel, if you wish. And D off again!
You can appeal to D's nuts.
Well, you can appeal, and it'll probably be sat upon by, I imagine myself, as someone who didn't race in this race. That's always, you know, the neutral point of view is always kind of handy. Probably Paul Riccobeni, and probably, who else would probably sit on the panel this time around?
You never let me to do any of that. It's not fair.
I don't think you want to.
I'll just hand out guilty verdicts for everybody.
Well, that's not the point.
I thought that was everybody's guilty until proven innocent, right?
No. Josiah Jerome battling with Javier Vega. And this is just working out into favor of Bertrand Barria, who is sliding away. Andrew D now in 6th place behind Hendrik Andreasen and ahead of Rene Ermer. Will triumph.
Me. The fans.
That's true. The fans are always winning. The viewers are always the winners. I do like Andrew D's. I believe that's Buzz Lightyear. That he's got as his display picture there.
I don't know. Could be. Or is it one of the Kerbals?
It might be one of the Kerbals. Yeah, that's not the right coloring
Is
for Buzz.
Bud Lightyear just a mutated Kerbal? Discuss in the comments section below.
I mean, probably. James Butler, by the way, has been in for a pit stop along with Jeremy Reeder. So they are in for the short early run, longer late run. Interesting that Reeder has gone that route. We've not seen him have an incident that suggests that his car was anything less than stellar. But he might be thinking big brains. Andrew D looking for a move. Nothing there.
He's about to pull what you like to call an amateur gamer move.
Well, to my knowledge, everybody in the field is amateur gamers. I don't think anyone's getting paid in this race. But,
that's the joke.
We'll find out. Could be, though. You'd be surprised. I've been surprised in my dealings with sim racing that there are some drivers who are not, and I mean this with no offense because they're faster than I am, but that are not supremely fast, but do indeed have sponsorship deals in place.
I am sponsored by leg injury.
Byron Derksen will be accepting all the sponsorships to make up for his lost income while recuperating from his surgery.
Correct. Please send all monies in low denomination unmarked bills. Care of Tijuana COD.
Arno Adrakor, drive-through penalty for ignoring slowdown warnings. That is not good for the guy who is a championship contender in this series in the GT4, is currently running in third place, and he'll be headed down the pit lane for an unscheduled drive-through penalty because he has not heeded the steward's warnings in regards to track limits. Andrew D! Into the wall.
Notes.
Gently into the wall, though. Car should be okay. Somebody just went off there. Yeah, there it is. It's a track core. It was off track. Interesting. So off track and facing a drive-through penalty. Things have gotten kind of bad for Arno Adrakor rather quickly, and in the lead now it is Josiah Jerome. Everybody, we missed him taking it, but he has gotten ahead of Bertrand Barrier. And Audi leads Porsche. I think this is the first time we've had an Audi at the front today. Outside of the very start of the race when Alfonso Alexandre started on pole, but quickly lost that lead to Andrew D in the Porsche.
D's nuts. I'm gonna keep saying D's nuts. D's nuts is the new. Can I just say Josiah Jerome?
I'm fine with it. It's a little more obvious, though, don't you think?
Yeah, well, shut up.
These are the thought-provoking questions of this commentary.
You shut your whore mouth. Daniel
Marcanday mixing it up with the GT2 leaders.
Well, Marine crawl across the entire country and put one of my crutches up your flaming butthole.
I don't think you're going to do that right now. I think that threat has less value right now than it ever has.
Of all the times I've ever threatened to Marine crawl across the entire country, right now is like the most viable.
the most likely to Marine crawl anywhere, for being honest. Mm-hmm. Luciano Jazzo up to fourth place. Everything coming together for Luciano. Vic Vega's been in the pit lane.
Victor 2.
And Adrakor has served his drive-through penalty, I believe, and has come out behind John Barker, so quite a ways back of the battle that he was in with Magas, Marcaday, and Tobias TH earlier on. Martin Edmonds and John Barker, ESR admin fight. Admin fight!
Stab him with the tire iron.
Barker on the tail there, battle for 6th place. And in behind them it is the car of Adrakor, about 8.5 seconds back.
Adrakor or the Drakor?
Adrakor.
And Drakor.
In fact, AA Drakor.
You done messed up, AA Dracor?
He did. Got to drive through. I still like the fact that my MMA fight simulator, for those not aware of it, actually generated someone named Jay Quillen. That was a highlight. It's a shame Jay Quillen just isn't very good.
Yeah.
Javier Vega still running in third place. Chazo's gotten very close to these guys, so he is very much coming into play. Only 1.6 seconds back of Vega here, who himself is only about 2 seconds off. So he's under 4 seconds away from the lead. Having a great day despite not having the best qualifying in the world. And he's got a good cushion back to Henrik Andreasen and Rene Ermer, but there is still the pit stop to deal with. The Lausitz pit lane has historically bit a couple of people in terms of the speeding in the pit lane problems. Looks like we've lost Ariel Zatoni at this point, so he joins Alfonso Alexandre, Diogo Braganca, and Ricardo Costa. The DNF pile. The first non-Portuguese driver to DNF this race.
Be sure to tune in to the latest record release from Ariel and the Z-Tones.
What type of music is Ariel and the Z-Tones? What do you think?
Doo-wop.
Doo-wop. Okay. I was gonna go with like some smooth jazz or something, but doo-wop works.
Oh, yes, he's the great Ariel Zatoni. Whoa, whoa.
Javier Vega looking for a way past Bertrand Barrier, and Josiah's kind of stretching this lead. He's got up to 2.4 seconds. He's got some pace right now. We'll have to see where the pit stop comes into play. Obviously, we'll probably see a lot of pit stops around 10 minutes from now, about the halfway point of the race. But we have seen some already. Butler, Reeder, Vega, all having been in the pit lane. But all three of them are kind of guys who are not having supremely great races, so might be rolling the dice and hoping for something to happen.
That thing would be an alien invasion.
I feel like a racing team is never really hoping for an alien invasion. I don't like they're hoping for something to happen, but I don't think that's it. I don't think Independence Day is the goal right now.
That's fair. Maybe a bit extreme.
Maybe like Mars attacks or something. I don't know.
What about a terrestrial invasion?
Oh. I don't think they're really waiting for that either. Although, I mean, Spa-Francorchamps is built on a battlefield between the Germans and French for centuries. So, maybe. Actually not sure where Lausitzring is in Germany, so I'm gonna look that up for a hot sec. Let's see here. Lausitzring, where are you located in Germany? It's in I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. I'm gonna be completely honest.
I'll let you boy. Show me like.
It's in the eastern part of Germany. It's just north of Dresden and Leipzig and south of Berlin.
Yeah, old man here.
It is in. Grab the address here. There we go. There you go.
But ship cow?
Maybe.
I'm gonna go with ship cow. Oh yeah, there we go. We got the Euro Speedway Lausitz, aka the Laos-infested speedway of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Located near Kletwitz, a civil parish of Skipkow, Oberspeedwald Lausitz district. Yeah! Mach schnell. In the state of Brandenburg, northeast Germany, near the border of Poland and Czech Republic.
Yeah, I thought it was in Brandenburg. Just from like looking at old school maps of Germany from before it was unified. I'm a big fan of the Napoleonic era of warfare.
You would, you kids in your grape shot.
Well, that was a highly dynamic period of warfare where a lot of like tactical advancements were made at the time, and strategics and importance of logistics was put into play. Which, I mean, I'm an accountant.
And they learned how to do IVs and stuff.
There's actually an old online game that I used to play where you could play. It basically mocked up. You could do a mock-up of like any battle or a custom battle, and you could actually face off with the various Napoleonic marshals based on their ratings that the website had. I don't think it exists anymore, but it used to be NapoleonGuide.com. It had a little game engine on it, which was pretty cool. This was back in high school.
Oh, I was right. I found a pronunciation site. It's it's Shipcow.
Bertrand Barrier retaking second place from Javier Vega for a moment there. He does have the inside. Yep.
Would like this song to be changed from Ship of Fools to Ship of Cows. Thank you.
So it's Jerome, Barrier, Vega, Ichazo, and Ermer in GT2 at the moment. Andreassen's falling back. Wonder if he's in the pit lane. And in GT4 action, Pedro Magalhaes still in the lead, followed by Daniel Marcadet, Tobias TH, Magic Kaschuk, and Steve Davidson. Steve Davidson having another very solid run after a good run at Zhuhai as well. Oh, Javier, that's a bad spot to be. And into the wall goes the Audi. I would probably pit if I were him.
Wow, you can't give up like that. What would Federico
give up? You
say?
got to do the pit stop anyways. You might as well fix the very dented side of the car. And he pulls the plug and is out of the race.
Them Portugueses, they
he's Spanish.
not do well today. They're just northern Portuguese.
Looks like we've also lost Jamie Fordham at some point. So we're down to 19 cars. 6 cars have DNF'd. We're down to 19 survivors. 9 GT2s and 10 GT4s. Henrik Andreasen indeed was in the pit lane and will rejoin ahead of James Butler. John Barker running in 7th place. Had a really good run at Zhuhai. Not quite as good today, but still doing well. And of course, with me absent, he's going to gang all kinds of points.
Are you going to come running through like the Kool-Aid man and just like smash his car?
I mean, if there was a way to do that, yeah.
Sounds like you're just not committing enough of yourself to cheating.
Randomly, after the 6 hours of Bathurst ends, the truck from Mad Max shows up. Starts taking everybody out. Flashing headlights with John Barker. Rene Ermer, looks like he came to blows a little bit there with one of the GT4s under lapped conditions. So one of the Mercedes is there, I believe, of Vic Vega. Go, Barker, go. You know Martin's tires are screaming right now and are more poutine than rubber.
That sounds delicious.
Arno Dracor has been into the pit lane. It has rejoined without a positional change. He was quite a ways ahead of Reeder and Vega. But is quite a ways behind John Barker now. Andrew D up to 7th place, although assisted by the retirement of Vega as well as the pit stop of Henrik Andreasen. And up ahead, that is James Butler actually ahead of him. So Butler is basically down a lap to the car he's chasing, which is not a great spot to be in. is dicing with Mauricio Delgado there. Delgado will let him through. That is not for position, so I would say if I'm Mauricio, and I feel that James Butler is faster than me, probably is a little bit at this point. He was very fast in qualifying. I think he qualified P4, and he's got fresher tires. One would think he would just let him through, but that's not always the conclusion that drivers will make, and particularly with the car behind him, Andrew D, being so close.
He may get deleted.
You may. All right, your Gaunt's Ghost line for the day, Byron, because I haven't given you one in a while. We're at a little bit of a lull in the action, not a super lull. Luciano Chass up into third place. So in the Gaunt's Ghost series, there is one trooper who has adopted 2 kids from Warzone. And it turns out the kids actually belong to another trooper, like biologically speaking, is their father. And there's a bit where one of the douchebag characters puts the daughter of the 2 kids in danger. And there's a bit where the adopted mother is assaulting him, and they pull her off, and he's like, "They're his kids. He's not even reacting." And the father just goes, "I was just waiting for Crid to get out of the way." And the douchebag goes, "What?" And then he gets slammed by this gigantic, massive man. It's like the chapter should just be called "Everyone Beats Up Marin." That's pretty much the chapter.
Not Marin. I like Marin.
You really don't. Marin's the character that is really not given any real redeeming characteristics. If we're being completely honest, he's the
most realistically articulated character in that universe.
As possible. As Andrew D has gotten past Mauricio Delgado thanks to the actions of blue flagged car James Butler, and that is not a critique of Butler. It was, I think, that Delgado did not let him just overtake him and tried to use him as a shield, and it didn't work out. Although I could see that possibly being before the stewards before long, but we'll see. We'll see what Butler's still trying to get past him, but I'm not really sure if this is a good idea for Butler. Now, let me tactically break this down here for a hot sec. He probably is faster than these 2 cars right now. He qualified really, really well. He's got fresher tires by somewhere around 30 minutes.
He's got fresher tires?
But I honestly feel that he would be better off, because I think he's wasting his tire advantage by trying to make these overtakes, because it's going to accelerate tire wear. And he's got to manage these tires to the end, or he's going to have to pit again. I would, if I'm him, just follow them, take the draft, and wait for them to pit, because it's never a good move when you hit somebody while you are a blue flagged car. It's always a little bit sticky and a little bit possibly steward activity, as Mauricio Delgado does hit the pit lane. So if I were him, I probably would have been a little bit more calm, collected there. But to each their own, and obviously everybody has different styles. Oh no, Steve Davidson out of the race.
No, Steve Dave, why?
We just lost Steve Dave.
Steve Dave, you have betrayed us all.
He didn't betray us. His computer might have died or something.
I feel as though, personally, he did that on purpose just to make me upset.
I mean, it's possible. I doubt it, though. Steve Dave's not that kind of guy.
It hurts my feels. And my leg.
Indeed. Anyways, to finish up the Gaunt's Ghost thing, Flynn Marin is really just like a descent into scuzzery character. He starts off as a promising young soldier and ends up honestly incompetent and also evil.
Those are 2. Well, I mean, I kind of like my evil people to be incompetent.
I mean, he's competent in some way. He's competent as an evil person.
Oh, no,
but he's highly incompetent. Like he becomes increasingly messy as an actual soldier, which is not great.
Have him killed immediately.
Like there's a joke in some of the later books where it's like E Company, which is Marin's company, is like E Company has taken way too many casualties. And there's a bit where Colia and Baskerville, 2 senior officers in the regiment, are talking like, yeah, it looks like E Company retreated way too fast, and it was very messy. Not the cleanest retreat ever. Will Marin's not the cleanest soldier ever.
These are true statements. We will have him sent in exile to Novosibirsk.
Mm-hmm. Also has a really bad mustache. The later novels make very big point of, like, he has this wispy, like, terrible mustache. Andrew D in the pit lane.
He's trying his best. Leave him alone.
He might be. Just might be a guy who can't really grow the mustache. But all I know is that the novels make it very clear it's a bad mustache. like his facial hair has way more effort put into it than, like, anyone else's.
I find that to be a personal assault, and I will not cotton to that type of shenanigans in this.
I mean, maybe Sergeant McCall's beard is talked about more because he's a very regal looking man with, like, a salt and pepper beard, but, like, that's as far as it gets with it. No, maybe a little bit. There was at one point someone put together, like, a list of who they would cast as everybody in Gaunt's Ghosts, and I can't remember who their suggestion for McCall was, but they had, like, Sean Bean, and they had a lot of good actors. You know, like the sort of cast that would never actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun.
You do realize
I do
that
think
you
that
handed me some geography shit, and I'm just producing, like, maps and stuff.
I know. I knew this would happen.
For instance, little known fact, but did you know that Max Simmons only watches animated films that originate from Ulaanbaatar?
Perhaps. Andrew D rejoining the festivities there from the pit lane. Simmons running in third place, but of course has not pitted. As usual, Max Simmons going deep. We still got a couple other guys who are doing the same, though. Luciano Chazo's still out there. Rene Ermer, David Marcaday, Tobias TH. Magic Cash Chuck's going on a deep run.
Congratulations to the Magical Cabbage Truck for
I'm
getting
not
married.
sure what happened to Steve Davidson. It put up the 0-0-0 as if he had exited the game, but now he has an actual gap. So he might still be out there. But it's a constantly growing gap, so I kind of doubt it. I do think he's out of the race. We got another interesting situation here where Max probably would be better off just pitting. Because he's got Andrew D there, who is under no obligation to give way to him under blue flags. Because he's probably faster. And I think racing that close is just going to slow him down. I think he would be better off going for the undercut on Ermer. But we also know that, if we're being completely honest, when, if ever, does Max Simmons go for an undercut as he takes the lead via staying out longer than any other GT2.
I heard that one time at the barber he asked for an undercut.
Interesting note here, Arno Adrakor has actually beaten John Barker and Martin Edmonds out of the pit lane. Barker's also beaten Edmonds out of the pit lane. Interesting, because I didn't think that was going to be possible, but Adrakor working the undercut, making the best of his drive-through penalty, getting fresh air, getting some good laps in, I'd imagine, and he's found himself back in the top 5. So excellent work by the French GTR team and Arno Adrakor. I tip my headphones because I have no hat.
I have hats, but they're not with me at this time.
I'm not wearing a hat right now. There's a Green Bay Packers hat and a Tennessee Titans hat on a hook near my head.
Tennessee Titans. Disgusting.
I don't know why I have a Titans hat. I do. I don't remember who bought it for me. This is probably one of those cases like where I get a lot of my sports gear. It's like, oh, Mike likes insert sport. We're gonna get him this.
Yeah.
And there's not really any additional thought put into the whole process.
It honestly does sound like something I would do. I would definitely, like, of all the teams, pick the most kind of obscure, not useless, not maligned, just sort of like, yeah, the Tennessee Titans exist.
I mean, I did like the Titans back in, like, early 2000s Madden just because they had Steve McNair as their quarterback, and I loved Steve McNair as a quarterback in Madden because that dude would just truck linebackers. I loved it. It's like, good luck getting the sack. I'm going.
But yeah, that sounds like I would carefully examine, like, the median of football and go, yes, the Tennessee Titans. and then I would give you the hat, and you'd be like, "Why?"
Well, no. See, you wouldn't have done that though, because at the time I got the hat, the Titans were very, very good.
Yeah,
actually,
no, this
they
is
went
definitely
to
not me. I'm gonna
they
go out.
they went to a Super Bowl.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. I did not purchase the hat, but it does sound like something I would do.
Probably like my aunt or something. There's I've made a point on this commentary before. I'm not a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, but I have like tons of Toronto Maple Leafs gear because this is how our family works. Because what our parents don't seem to get, my aunt and uncle and my mom when she was alive, obviously, it was, what does Kevin, who is my cousin, what does Kevin want for Christmas? I don't know. But you're like the same age. We're really not into the same things. Like, we're both generically into sports, and that's about the only thing. Like, neither of our parents really got the idea that, like, if me and my cousin were not, cousins, like, let's say we went to the same high school, we wouldn't talk to each other. I'm a nerd. He's a jock. Like, we don't know. Like, I'm aware of what he's into, but I know nothing about it, and he's aware of what I'm into, but we know nothing about it. Luciano Echazo recovered from a spin into the wall there. That is a problem for him, as he drops down to 5th in the order now, behind Rene Ermer. So Simmons is still out there. I don't know how long a pit stop is, to be honest, but he is 64 seconds ahead of Bertrand Barrier, who is well ahead. What has happened to Josiah Jerome? He's down in 7th place. Not good pit stop shuffling for JJ, who now is kind of out of the battle for the win after being a focal point of it for some time. Andrew D also not really in the fight either. It's suddenly become kind of Max Simmons versus Bertrand Barrier for the win, and I didn't see that coming. Should be mentioned, Simmons is actually opening the gap further despite being on very worn tires, which does surprise me.
I am not surprised. This race is at least 30 minutes long. You're gonna wear out some tires.
Well, no, that's what I mean, is like he's the one with the worn tires that is still going faster. Now the gap is closing a little bit, so maybe this is just a case of like being on a faster part of the track and getting a little bit of something going. Problem with an over-minute gap is you're never really going to get the most accurate reading on it, so we'll see what happens as Luciano Echazo moves up into 4th place ahead of Rene Ermer. Is Ermer in the pit lane again? Looks like he might be. Maybe a fuel miscalculation for Rene Ermer, and he needs a top-up here. There is Josiah Jerome, P6. Did not expect this. Not sure what happened. Just a really long pit stop, maybe. Andrew D. Looked like he was on his way to winning early, but now finds himself in 5th place with a lot of ground to make up. He is on the tail, though, of Luciano Echazo within 2 seconds. And then, unfortunately, the podium looks a little bit out of reach for him, depending on where Simmons comes out, because it's about 10 seconds further up the road is Henrik Andreasen, who's in 3rd place.
Go to the front.
We'll see. John Barker going a little bit wide there and spilling some dust onto the track. Might lose a spot there. Nope. Oh, he does. He loses a spot to Magic Kashchuk, who moves into 5th place. We've lost Steve Davidson, Javier Vega, Jamie Fordham, Ariel Zatoni, Ricardo Costa, Alfonso Alchandre, and Diogo Braganca from this race. We are down to 18 cars, 9 in both categories. Max Simmons is the only man not to have pitted, and he's got to be running at a time. We don't have a pit window timer here, but I assume it's getting close, because it would be a 45-minute pit window for them. And that would mean that you have... I guess he's got a fair bit of time left.
You've only got 34 seconds left, and the whole race is going to be... Oh, 34 minutes.
No.
My bad.
34 minutes, yes. So the clock will expire at 22 and a half left. So he actually has about 10 more minutes, probably, before he really has to worry about a penalty. Although, if I were him, I'd be getting in the pit lane. But that gap is more or less stabilized at about 1:05, so it's no necessary rush. What if that number starts to come down? Then he really needs to get in the pit lane. Perfectly, he would get in the pit lane right before that number starts to drop reasonably rapidly. We'll see if he times this right, because it could be a race win if he gets it right. For a change here, I'm down with the overcut that Simmons is running, because I usually make fun of Max's pit strategies. And the reason I do that is not that I necessarily think that they're even wrong. It's just that every time I've talked to Max about his super overcut strategies, he can never really explain why he does it. Like, it really just seems he likes to be in the lead at some point, and they often cost him positions. But on this particular occasion, it might work out, because that gap still is pretty steady. I'd say Barrier seems a little bit faster than him, but it's not a ridiculous amount. I would still probably get in the pits if I were him now-ish, because, you know, you're flirting a little bit with disaster. James Butler heading into the pit lane, so he's in for a second stop. Not surprising, Butler had to pit very, very early to fix some damage, I think, and probably has run the tires down, unfortunately. Also, as I stated a little bit earlier on, I think he handled the blue flags inappropriately. He kept trying to race the cars that were lapping him, and I think that's going to shrink your tire lifespan quite rapidly, and it's probably cost him a second pit stop here. Tobias TH running in third place in GT4. He's had a rough season, but today's been pretty clean. Jonathan Barker in 6th place behind Magic Kazchuk. The two Brits battling it out again.
Good old Magic Cabbage Truck. Apparently going to get married.
He is. Congratulations again. We've issued it before, but it bears repeating.
Good luck to the future Mrs. Cabbage Truck and all of the cabbage rolls that they
all the
will
cabbage
have.
rolls. I was gonna go with Cabbage Patch Kids, but
Boy,
oh, Butler. James Butler with a spin. So Butler having a rough finish off to this race. If he did go in for a second pit stop and did that, that's gonna probably scupper the tires that he was planning to go to the end on. And that gap is now closing. Simmons has lost more than a second. Unless he's in the pit lane. I don't think he is, because that gap just went up.
Sir, have you received a new message?
I have, apparently. James Butler spinning again. No. I did receive a new message. It is from my cousin, the aforementioned Kevin.
Oh, snap. And does he want money, or,
No. We were talking about the Hamilton Tiger Cats and our concerns with how the off-season's been going.
Well, they're going to fold because they suck and they lose every game.
No, they're not going to fold.
You're going to sell them off to the lacrosse
But
league.
they are being really, really inactive in
They should sign that,
free agency, which is not good. Oh, what happened to Pedro Bacalash? I looked away and he's down to 3rd place, and he was in the lead of GT4. What happened there?
All I know is that...
And the gap is growing. Where's Pedro?
The Hamilton Tiger Cats are going to merge with the Cricket League.
Probably not. Pedro Bacalash is falling way down the gap. What, can we get a camera on him, please?
Nope.
I mean, we probably won't, because there's nothing to trigger the camera to go to him, but
It's probably the pit lane.
I mean, if he's in for a second stop, then it just doesn't seem really needed. These GT4s should easily be able to do this on one stop, I would think. And I think Max Simmons is finally in the pit lane, because that gap is coming down very rapidly. I hope he's in the pit lane, because otherwise he's stopped on the track somewhere. Let's see if where he comes out, because that's kind of the last interesting thing we got to play with here. I mean, there are still some battles. Marcaday about 1.6 seconds behind the leader, Rene. Oh, Rene Irmer has found hyperspace. My planet needs me. I must return. John Barker and Magic Kaszchuk. I feel like this is going to go down to the wire for BMW pride and British pride. Although a track core is actually ahead of them in a BMW, so not quite for BMW pride. And it looks like Pedro Magalhães is moving again. I have no idea what happened. It's very bizarre. Very bizarre. And a spin from Henrik Andreasen, who is in second place. By the way, Simmons has made his pit stop and has come out in second place, 15 seconds behind Bertrand Barrier.
Very nice.
So he has come out in second place, but I do... Oh, no. Well, he's dropping now, so maybe he's just rejoined. Josiah Jerome making the overtake there of the very damaged Henrik Andreasen. I can't imagine Andreasen doesn't pit to fix that car. I know it's going to drop him down to 8th place, but you're only in 6th now. You might as well get it done. But bite the bullet and try to make a comeback with 20 plus minutes to go. Because his car is fucked up right now. Like that was a hard impact with the wall. There's Vic Vega. Slaloms off track a little bit. So with Irmer gone, we're down to 17 running cars, 9 GT4s, 8 GT2s. Also, if I may be blunt here, Andreasen might be able to pit and come out ahead of Mauricio Delgado. He's got over a minute. And he definitely would come out ahead of James Butler.
But would he come out ahead of James Waitress?
Somebody was off there. It looks like that's Pedro Magalhães again in the Lotus. A race win has been just put to dirt right now for Pedro Magalhães. I don't know what's going on right now with that car. And now he's got to worry about defending his podium from Arnaud Adracor. By the way, Adracor had a drive-through penalty earlier. Played the pit stops really well and might end up with a podium. As we pick up the battle for the lead there, Tobias TH now a half second behind Daniel Marcaday. Porsche coming on strong. It's an all Porsche GT2 podium with Barrier, Achazo, and D as all the Audis have hit problems. Simmons is dropping through the field. Now, I will say this, Simmons is the danger man. He's got the fresh tires, went into the pits really late. He needs to be burning up some laps now, and if he runs out of time, it's all on him because he stayed out, I think, probably a bit too long as John Barker and Magic Kaszchuk once again jousting for 5th place. Oh, Kaszchuk off the track, and I think that's going to be John Barker through.
Bow wow.
Tobias TH all over the back end of Daniel Marcaday. Marcaday looking for his, I think, first win in this series. He's had a couple of good runs. It wouldn't surprise me if he maybe won at Spa-Francorchamps or something. But he is under pressure. Tobias, who is an undoubted championship contender, would love to take this victory. That has kind of fallen into his lap with problems for Pedro Magalhães as well as Javier as well as Ariel Zatoni and Diogo Braganca. Pardon me. and the drive-through for Arnaud Dracour. So, like, things have really fallen into place for Tobias DH, and he would love to maximize the return.
Well, that would be all well and good if indeed he hadn't exploded and caused the destruction of the dinosaurs.
Well, he didn't. So
You can't prove that.
You're wrong. Picking up Josiah Jerome's. He's looking to get back on the podium against Andrew D. All right, Byron, where do your loyalties lie? Is it with D-Light or is it with Josiah, the basest voice you have ever heard?
Well, I mean, that's hardly fair to ask me to choose between one or the other, so therefore I'm going to go with Gulf Oil to the front.
The sensor array is broken.
Thought you might like that.
I just read your...
The memes. The memes don't stop.
The memes. Data is fully functional.
Correct.
Josiah Jerome looking to get on that podium. Looking to end the Audi shutout here. Audi with 0 podium positions right now. Porsche with 4, Lotus and Mercedes with 1 apiece. And that is Luciano Ichazo. Well, never mind. Josiah's up onto the podium. Luciano with a rough run. And he's maybe those tires have just kind of given out on because he was one of the early pit stoppers. And it maybe has not worked out that well for him on this occasion. So Josiah Jerome now battling for second with Andrew D. Suddenly these two guys who in the pit stops really seemed to come out like they weren't going to have a great day. And all of a sudden, they're on the podium. A race win is unlikely without a Barrier error, as he's about 17 seconds up the road. But they're fighting for some really big points and some series changing points in a lot of ways, as Jeremy Reeder is backwards on track.
Jeremy Reeder.
They get past the GT4 leader, Daniel Marcadet. Continue their battle for second place, as there is Jeremy getting back underway. Currently running in 9th place in GT4. Which is last, but that doesn't change the number of points that it pays out. Magic Kazchuk is dropped behind Martin Edmonds, so he's probably unlikely to resume. Well, no, he's still there. He's only about 1.6 seconds behind John Barker, so I guess the fight's probably not over quite yet. But it's now a 3-way fight with Edmonds involved.
Monsieur Edmond, he going to take you to the town. He going to go fishing into Quebec.
There's nothing like fishing in Quebec. They brought back the 2 French girls, actually, for the most recent series of season of Letterkenny.
The Mary Frank?
Yeah, and Annick.
Does he get the shit beat out of La Person?
He does not.
Well, shit.
They also bring back Derksen.
That's good.
I did in fact like it. There's a bit where his girlfriend is looking at him like he did something bad, and he's like, let's be honest here, baby. You date the bad boy, you can't be angry when the bad boy does bad boy things.
That's true. I really liked his character. So I look forward to liking his character more.
And they bring back Gavin Fox's character, which is fun. Oh no, Barrier! Off the track and spinning.
He has been barred from proceeding.
I said that he kind of had this win in the bag if he didn't screw up. Well, not yet, but the gap has gone from 17 seconds to under 8 seconds, and it looks like he still hasn't gotten underway fully yet. Oh boy! We suddenly have a door open for Andrew D. and Josiah Jerome, if they can just take advantage of it. Speaking of which, there they are. very close together. Gentlemen. I would suggest a temporary truce as you try to catch up with the leader because he's feeling the pressure apparently. For those who do not know who Gavin Fox is, he is a Canadian actor who's just very big and muscular. Like that really sums him up pretty effectively. But he plays like kind of the really bad boy sort of thing. Like I'm the tough guy, but you're really not. You're just huge. And Thomas Waz is asking when I will be on to help his friend test for a ESR license, which I said about 30 minutes. And, well, with 18 minutes left, we'll probably be wrapped up before then.
That should give you an idea of how much post-amble Michael is going to deliver.
Depends on what happens, I guess. Depends what happens with this race win here, frankly. Because right now, my post-amble kind of is as follows. The guys who didn't make a lot of mistakes, well, they profited. And that's kind of how it's been. As Max Simmons has a spin.
Go forward to the front.
For example, I do think Max Simmons screwed it up. I think the overcut was not a bad idea. I just think he took the overcut to too far of a level. And now he's kind of under immense pressure to just basically put purple lap to try to get a top 5 results, which I think was in the cards with a more traditional pit strategy.
I need Josiah to do the World of Tanks special and just give Andrew the push from behind.
I mean, it depends. If I'm Josiah Jerome right now, because there's about 17 minutes left in the race, you know there's going to be some extra time for the last lap. If I were him, I would not be attacking Andrew D right now, and I'd be seeing what can we do about Bertrand Barry up ahead. He's only 8.3 seconds up the road. The chance of a victory is not that far-fetched after seeing him lose the car and fall back because those tires cannot be happy right now. I would be just kind of tagging on to the draft of Andrew D and being like, let's go see if we can get this. We can turn this battle for second into a battle for the win. Let's see if we can do that. And if the gap isn't closing by the time you hit, I don't know, 12 minutes left, you go back on the attack. That's my strategy right now. And I don't think it's what Josiah is going for because it looks like he's got the faster car right now, and he would really like to get in. Really would like to get that second place. But you can see that when they fight, the gap to Barrier does grow. It was closing. It was under 7 seconds at one point. Now they're fighting again. It's over 7 seconds again. So there is that. Martin Evans versus John Barker. Classic rivalry. Magic Kashchuk is still with them in the red and white BMW. And the race leader, Bertrand Barrier, is coming up to them. So Barrier will probably lose some time under this highly contested blue flag. As Josiah Jerome tries to get up the inside of Andrew D, but it turns into the outside for the next turn, and D hangs on. Buying more time for Bertrand Barrier at the front as Martin Evans just overtook John Barker. Did he? No, Barker nips him on the inside. Not done yet, as the race leader, Bertrand Barrier, is coming up to them. He's gotten by Magic Kashchuk without too much issue.
Come on, Martin, slow down.
Ends up, yeah, there's not really anything you do here. This is the perfect spot for Barrier to catch them.
Just
didn't get past Barker.
A little bit. Go forward to the front, my guy. Come on.
Didn't quite get past Barker though, so Barker is still in the way. Josiah Jerome is still all over the back end of D. Even fighting, they are catching up to Barrier, but that could just be traffic Barrier's in. We know Barrier is around a 3-car fight for 5th place in GT4, so not the nicest place to be in when you're trying to clear traffic. Josiah Hero. Oh, he's getting close, but he doesn't quite have it. Now he does.
Yeah.
Gets the inside line, and Josiah Jerome to second place. Let's see if he can turn on the afterburners and hunt down a race win, because it is only 5 seconds. And in 13 minutes, you could do 5 seconds. Especially at the rate the gap was closing even while they were fighting. I don't think Barrier is that fast right now. As side-by-side action ahead between Martin Edmonds and John Barker. Barker hanging on again. And they're working their way past Magic Kazchuk, who is kind of hoping the two ESR admins tip each other off and he can take up that top 5 spot. Andrew D coming through. Oh, D with a late lunge there.
Put him in the
Josiah
wall.
kind of got caught by the blue flag traffic, and it opened up a gap for D to try to go for. I don't think it was a high percentage move, but it was one worth going for. They are losing a ton of ground now to Barrier. So they are in the Barrier spot. Edmonds is not being cooperative here under blue flags. And he doesn't have to be. He wants to get past John Barker. That's his main concern, not the races of Andrew D and Josiah Jerome. And around the outside, Edmonds has got 5th place. And the blue flags are cleared. Martin Edmonds played the blue flags aggressively, and it pays off with 5th place.
What did you
Might also pay off with some rude feelings from Josiah Jerome and Andrew D, but they're nice guys. I'm sure they won't take it terribly personally.
I hear that Andrew D has a special book where he writes your name down in the blood of a goat.
There's Jeremy Reeder recovering from a slight off. Looked like he was maybe just getting out of the way for blue flags.
Also, what shenanigans is Josiah rocking for the flag there? That's like quasi-Australia?
I think he's been doing that for a while. It's we looked it up at one point, and I
don't remember this.
Not 100%. Marshall Islands, maybe?
That's in the Pacific Ocean. I don't remember. It's
Yep.
probably not.
I don't know. Look up flags of Oceania. It's probably in there.
Why would I do that? That's foolishness.
Because that's like kind of your thing. You're the flags and geography guy. And giraffe facts.
Indeed, giraffe facts, of which only I remember only what's flag of Anguilla.
Anguilla.
See Anguilla.
Josiah Jerome is a man of many, many flags. By the way, Tobias DH has taken the lead of GT4. We didn't see it on camera, unfortunately, but he is in front by 0.6 of a second. He is the red and white Porsche. The longtime race leader here in the gunmetal and orange, David Marcaday, dropping into 2nd place. Surprisingly enough, Pedro Magalhaes still hanging on to 3rd place. On some good laps right now. He's opened up a gap to Arno Adrakor. Then it's the fight between Edmonds, Barker, and Kazchuk that we've seen a lot of. Then Vega and Reeder.
Anguilla, English Control Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, established in, or English Control established in 1667. Secession and independence in 1967. British Control restored in 1969. Capital and largest city, The Valley.
Interesting.
Indeed. Also, there's an island off the coast called Scrub Island. Get good, or you get sent to Scrub Island.
Get good, Scrubs, or you send you your own island. John Barker back on the attack against Martin Edmonds. Edmonds played a little bit of dirty pool in the blue flag phase. Nothing untowards. But he got him through, and now Luciano Echazo is probably not the happiest with the blue flags again here. That being said, the rules of ESR and the charter that governs the series do state that you just have to maintain a consistent line, and that's all you need to do. There goes Echazo past John Barker. There is no need to yield. This is not Formula 1. You can find your way through. This is GT racing. getting through blue flag traffic is a skill. And it's one that, to be honest, is a little bit underdeveloped in certain drivers. Jerome, by the way, 3.5 seconds behind Bertrand Barrier now.
Might I recommend just punting every blue flag person ever?
That's a good way of getting a penalty. Lots of penalties.
It's all legal in Mad Max racing.
Lots of penalties. You get too many penalties, you get banned.
But what if you bribe people?
I don't know why I just thought of a Sharp scene when I said that. I don't know.
Is it the one from Lord of the Rings?
What happens when you burn oysters? You get lye. What happens when you get lye? You get lye in your eyes, you go blind.
So it's not the one from Lord of the Rings?
No. Well, Sean Bean is in Lord of the Rings, but
yeah.
I said Sharp.
Yeah, so did I. You not remember that he picks up the shards of Narsil and cuts himself as
that's
still
true.
Sharp?
That's true. That's true. Oh!
Hey, Martin Edmonds.
Martin Edmonds! No! That means that we don't have a replay, so somebody upload your replay. Oh no, Martin is out.
God.
We sent two of ESR's finest have gone into hyperspace to try and find their people.
You have no idea how much your own leg
Martin
weighs
Evans
until you
and
try and
James.
readjust it manually.
Mm-hmm.
I've got this strap.
Oh, magic cash check very off.
I got this.
Like, continue.
I got this strap that goes around my foot, so I can move my leg laterally. The inside and outside ligaments of my knee are fine, but I cannot lift my leg for any reason. So anything you could do, moving your leg forward and backward, not happening here.
Okay.
So to
strictly side to side movement.
Correct. So I use this strap around my foot and to manually lift my leg, going usually horizontally, so I have the support of those ligaments. And you have no idea how much your own leg weighs until you have to just really man up and just pull that shit into place.
It is the biggest center of mass for.
And I've got big man legs. I've got legs with
I know.
Large muscle groups.
Oh yeah. Your legs are thicker than mine, and I seldom meet someone with thicker legs than myself.
Thick.
Tree trunks.
My legs are thick with 3 Qs.
Mm-hmm. Max Simmons is caught up to Henrik Andreasen, who did not take the opportunity to pit earlier, I don't think, and is a pretty limping car. Josiah Jerome is now within a second of race leader Bertrand Barrier. Bertrand, what happened? You were 18 seconds up, my friend. The race was won.
He's smoking drugs.
And now 20 minutes later, you are under immense pressure. What has happened?
What had happened was...
Oh, Max. What was that?
Maxwell?
That's good. I'm gonna choose my assistant steward privileges to put that in the review pile.
Can I help?
Nope.
Fuck.
That was just clumsy by Max Simmons. There was no gap there.
Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse, Mike. If you're really terrible and live in Anguilla, they don't just send you to Scrub Island. There's one a little further out called Little Scrub Island.
Oof. Anyway, Simmons gets the spot, which probably was going to happen anyways, Andreas. And like I said, his car is walking wounded. But that'll be it. That, I imagine, will be a penalty. I can't speak for Marshal for Steward Jack Stewart. Jack.
Are you on drugs?
The Stewart Silento Jack. I am on some drugs, but not those kind of drugs. I'm on diuretics, but that's about it.
Dianetics? I don't trust that book at all.
I wouldn't either.
Also, if you live in Anguilla and you're not good at sex, they send you to Badcock's Pond.
We had... Oh, come on! The camera went away from Josiah taking the lead.
Are you, camera guy, following me?
Come on, camera guy. You're not loving my nuts, apparently.
Apparently, these nuts not on the menu.
No, apparently not. Josiah to the front.
Good old Josephus Jerome.
And the return of old school Josiah. He's been gone a while. He's been a little bit shaky in the GT2 cars, hasn't gotten his head around them. But today, at the Lausitzring, he has done the duty and now needs to just hang on for 3.5 minutes.
Duty.
Which will be about probably 3 laps.
Duty. Yeah, they've got a nice, convenient place for aliens to vacation here in Anguilla. It's called Grey Pond.
I like it.
They got a bunch of ponds and a bunch of bays. You got Grey Pond, Badcock's Pond, Cowless Pond, Long Pond, Road Salt Pond, Meads Bay Pond, Rendezvous Bay Salt Pond, Cove Pond, Gull Pond, and West End Pond. And we've got Savannah Bay, Sile Bay, Sandy Hill Bay, Corito Bay, Little Harbor, which is probably also a bay, Rendezvous Bay, Cove Bay.
Andrew D spinning.
DY!
Andrew D off the podium. Luciano Echazo onto the final step.
Groove is apparently not in the heart for D-Light.
What is going on here in the late stages of this race? There has been absolute chaos here in the last 10 minutes.
Andrew, don't make me send you to Little Scrub Island.
Oh, he's off again!
Oh, Little Scrub Island it is.
Oh, no.
Would like the good news is Josiah Jerome knows where to go, so he can escort you to Little Scrub Island.
Yeah, he can escort you to Little Scrub Island.
And apparently he can get you there fast because he's in first place.
Ooh. Late lunge there by David Marcaday. I'm not sure if he's really going for an overtake there so much as just maybe having a very tight line. They do have Andreasen behind them looking to get through under blue flags. Mind you, if Henrik is thinking kind of big brain right here, he's 6+ seconds behind Max Simmons, probably not going to catch him. And he's 30+ seconds ahead of Mauricio Delgado. There's no reason to force this issue while there is a battle for first place in GT4 going on right now. But we did see that at Spa-Francorchamps when a blue flag car did get into a fight with 2 GT4s racing for position, and it just went badly. So hopefully he does not handle Luciano Echazo off now. Is that going to let Andrew D back onto the podium? No, I don't think it will.
D nice.
Yeah, if I'm Andreasen right now, there is no need to risk my car further. There is no need to get into this brawl. If there's a nice easy overtake like on this section here to make the blue flag clear, I do it, and that's what he's doing right now. So I think he handled that. I think he handled that perfectly. He gets through there on the straightaway there. The start finish straight as we enter what probably will be the final lap. Marcaday and Tobias TH still sparring for the lead. Josiah Jerome's opened up a 6-second gap back to Barrier, so he's flying from Barrier. Barrier has either thrashed his tires.
Whoa.
James Butler having a spin. And somehow Andreasen ends up getting overtaken by Marcaday and Tobias TH. That was very weird.
Peter McLeish.
And they lap Vic Vega in the process. Not sure at this point. Not sure what's really up with Andreasen's car. We saw him hit the wall hard to the point where I thought he probably should have taken a second pit stop, but he did not, and has continued on for what looks like a safe-ish 6th place, although he is losing seconds per lap to Mauricio Delgado. I just don't think there's enough time. I mean, we had zeros on the clock. Should be done the next time across the start-finish line. On board with David Marcaday here as he tries to get the win in the closing bits of this race. Might have one more lap to go, depending where Josiah Jerome is, and what will actually be the last lap. Well, I meant on the track, like his literal physical location.
That would be the pit lane, because he can't be bothered.
It looks like they will get one more lap for Marcaday. lot of interesting. I assume Martin Edmonds, who at this point was out of the race, is probably taking over the camera and is giving us the quality manual control.
Manuel who?
Manuel, not Manuel.
See Manuel.
Trying to get the job done. Oh, cut off.
And it's over.
All right. Well, let me read off the race app final here, and we will do what we can do here.
I think probably somebody smoked a bunch of drugs, and therefore we didn't get a full-on shenanigans.
It's possible. It's possible. All right, let's get the final results here from Race App. If they're up and available, they are. Josiah Jerome is indeed your winner from Bertrand Barre, Luciano Achazo, Andrew D, Max Simmons, Henrik Andreasen, Mauricio Delgado, and James Butler in GT2. And in GT4, Tobias TH, your winner from Daniel Marcaday, who I assume is Fly Dundee on Race App. If I'm wrong, let me know. Pedro Magalesh, Arno Adrakor, John Barker, Magic Kazchuk, Vic Vega, and Jeremy Reeder. 16 cars finishing from the 25 that started. We lost 9 on the way. And we'll have a quick look and see if the standings are up to date. They are. Luciano Echaza, with his third place, leads the GT2 championship with 90 points. In second place is Bertrand Barrier with 58. And then Max Simmons, also on 58, is in third place, but he has weaker best finishes. Basically, Barrier's best are a pair of seconds, his are a pair of thirds. Pedro Magalesh leads the GT4 category with 71 points, ahead of Tobias TH, your winner today, on 58, and Arno Adrakor on 54. Max Simmons probably looking at a penalty for rear-ending Henrik Andreasen, unless that looks a lot different on replay, I would think. Byron, your final thoughts.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.